niggas in the club tonight. What? But it's gonna be alright. Yeah. Cause me and my clique, we don't give a fuck. Trick Daddy, give y'all the game. Let's go. If you want it, you can get it. Let me know. I'm about to break this thing up. Let's go. If you want it, you can get it. Let me know. I'm about to break this thing up. If you want some, come get some.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome wrestling fans to FTW Independent Island, a special show this weekend about independent professional wrestling. I am your not-so-humble correspondent, Robert Black, and joining me today is a special guest from Washington State. He is a specialist in independent professional wrestling. He has basically done it all out in Washington State, and he is Jason Sign Guy Amos. How you doing, sir?
Doing very well. Thanks for having me, guys.
Beautiful. And to my side here is the founder of our feast, the FTW Future Focus and Network president, former professional wrestler and promoter extraordinaire, the Mastermind Bobby Rogers. How you doing, sir?
What's up? Ladies and gentlemen, of course, yes, it's the Mastermind Bob Rogers. I am not working today, so you don't see anything in the background except the brick wall, which is just like my head. It's hard as hell. The other thing that I'm looking at is that today we're doing something special. This is Independent Island. A lot of you guys don't know this that has tuned into our podcast before. Usually see us on the FTW Network, doing the Future Focus, speaking about national issues, national federations, things of that nature. This is something special. This is kind of like my baby, and we had to put it on the shelf for a little bit because of other issues. But the Independent Island is all about the independence. I wish Keith was here. Keith Miller is supposed to be on, but he's not here right now. But let me go ahead and explain this Wrestlers to Watch 200. So you will get a proper understanding of what this is about, and what this is supposed to be. Number one, let me say thank you to the people over at the Wrestlers to Watch for having us as an official spokesperson. It means a lot that you understand that we are about independent wrestling as well as national wrestling. So this is an opportunity that we can show, besides people that seen me in the ring and seen, you guys.
And heard me call it.
Sign Guy, I've done shows with you, Rob. We've been all over the place together.
Yep.
But we've done a lot of stuff in the independence to where, this really means something to us. So, disclaimer number one. Listen, this list was not made to offend anyone, to leave anybody out, to say somebody's better than the other, to put a middle finger up to someone. It has nothing to do with that, okay? It has everything to do with showing the people that you should watch, okay? So let's put that out there. Number two, boy, I'm trying to keep my gears in check here, because when the list came out, there were some people that shocked me in how they acted about it. It was unprofessional. It was degrading to the independence, period. We came up, 200 names came off the top of people's head, because that's the first 200 people that came to mind. Other people didn't come to mind. Sorry. Reason being, and hold on, I'm getting something from Keith right now, but sometimes we miss somebody. We're not perfect. You know what I mean? We will make that mistake. You know what I'm saying? It happens. It is so many great people in these independents that's all over till we're going to look over somebody. We're going to make a mistake. So if you're not on this list, please understand. We don't think any less of you. don't necessarily mean we think more of you, but that don't think any less of you. It ain't all, okay? We respect the craft. We love this craft. All three people on this panel, plus Keith, plus everybody loves independent wrestling. So we're doing what we can to bring exposure to those who work hard and do as much as they can. I'm sorry that some people get left out. I apologize. But Rob knows this. Sound guy, you might not know this so much. But with the development, hold on, wait a minute. Look who the heck that bearded man is. Yeah. Keith Miller is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, Keith?
Hold on, I gotta turn my volume up. There we go.
What's going on, man?
Hey, I'm here.
I got you. We got I could give about 9 minutes on this and we can move things a little back. But as I was explaining to everyone, and I was giving a disclaimer before we start this, because as you remember when the list came out, everybody was up in arms. It was ridiculous.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, it was silly.
And I was explaining we were doing this off the top of our head for people that we respect, that we admire, that we see out there hard working. And it had no particular order. It was just those things that came off of our head and who we thought.
Right.
And Keith, if you want to take over from here, go ahead,
Okay.
bro.
All right. Well, basically the idea of the list came about because every time these lists come out, there's always people who say, you know, on what authority were these lists created, blah, 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 blah. So I wanted to make a list that was maybe a little more informed. Obviously, Sign Guy has been doing this forever. He keeps an eye on wrestling everywhere. You know, he's very respected. He's refereed and managed and wrestled. I mean, what else, you know, is there? And, you know, same with you, Bobby. You've been a ring announcer and a wrestler and a manager. I mean, I have been involved in the wrestling business since 1998. That's 26 years for those of you who are mapping. And, whoa, I don't know what that was.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all good. But I basically just decided that that I wanted to kind of put a list together, and I didn't want it to be the normal, like, best wrestler to worst wrestler type of thing. I wanted it to be keep an eye on these guys because these are people who we feel like in 2024 could make a huge impact in one way or another. And that was all it was supposed to be. And then people started looking at it because there was numbers involved, which, I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like, I did put the younger kids towards the top and the people who'd been around for a while towards the bottom because you should know. You know what I mean? Like Aaron Williams, you should already know to go watch Aaron Williams. You know what I mean?
Guy with the tie. I don't know who he is.
Well, I do. I do. I've called many a match for the gentleman psychopath, and he is dynamic.
Exactly. Yeah. But I mean, Eric Academia, who is
That damn
amazing.
tie is loaded, by the way. I know it is.
Right on, man. But I was gonna say Eric Academia, who is absolutely amazing. It's only her second year, and some people may not know who she is. Therefore, you know, I put her higher so she would get some attention from people who may not have seen her yet. Whereas Aaron Williams, but then people were like, oh, why is Aaron Williams like 180 or whatever he was? Because you should already know. But next year, when we do the list, we won't put numbers on it. It'll just be, these are the people that we think are going to do big things this coming year. I think that as I've released the bios over the course of the last couple weeks or whatever it's been a little more clear of why the people were on the list and how we feel about them. But I think in the beginning, people felt like we were disrespecting people. There were people who complained about being too high. It was crazy. It was all meant just to shine a light on good wrestling. And it certainly wasn't any kind of a like ego thing or trying to get a rub, or in the beginning, I wasn't even going to say who was involved, but people were demanding like that we tell them who made the list. So I did it. But in the beginning, it was just going to be a list just for people to check out, and it went crazy for about a week for sure. But
yeah, I didn't give a crap.
Yeah, yeah, it was silly, man.
I don't care. What's somebody gonna do?
Right.
I mean, my thing is, I knew it wasn't trying to insult anybody. I knew it wasn't trying to stick it to nobody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I voted on those people that I felt that, hey, and I did, and I'll put full disclosure on here. I did the women.
Right. The majority of them, yeah.
Passion. Women's wrestling is my passion.
Yeah.
I love it. If you watch any Future Focus episode here on the FTW Network, you will always hear me talk about women's wrestling. I love women's wrestling.
Right.
I think it's one of the most dynamic parts that is growing in the industry. And this Rob can back me up on this. I predicted the first women's WrestleMania main event.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I predict a lot of this. Tiffany Stratton is somebody that I saw that was in her WWE days.
Dude, from the first time I saw her, I think her gymnastic background has helped her so much. Like the first time I saw her, I went to work and I was like, dude, this Tiffany Stratton chick is going to be a star. Yeah. I mean,
correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't she on track to be on the USA gymnastics team for the Olympics?
Yeah.
But
right, she's an athlete, man.
But when I say people like that on the national scene, I see the same thing here on the independents.
Yeah, for sure.
Those names are going to come up here in a second.
Yeah.
And that's why, I thought it was important I get involved with this Wrestlers to Watch, because I think those ladies, especially the ladies, need a lot of attention because they don't get the exposure that they should. And I'm saying that straight out. Dudes could get mad at me or whatever. What are you doing, man? You probably like it. No, I got a girlfriend. She keeps me busy enough.
Oh, that's silly. Yeah.
For joining us on FTW.
I don't mean it like that, bro. I wouldn't go on Tony's route, bro. I was doing it on the real route, but
we're on the board.
Speaking of my girlfriend, hi Wendy, how are you? But I'm just saying, my girlfriend is enough. It ain't about what I look at looks. And Anthony, actually, one of our other correspondents on the FTW Network, he's on doing the chat. What's up, Tony? But I do it because I like the athleticism of the women. I like how they're growing.
Right.
I like how they're becoming.
Yeah.
I could give a damn how they look. I could give a crap how they long as they get on that mic and they can execute that ring.
Right.
You're gonna get praise from me.
Yeah. The point here.
One thing is too.
Rob, go.
Oh, I'm sorry, Rob. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. The point here is recognition. This entire list is about showcasing talent on the independent circuit that not only has earned it, deserves it, but needs eyeballs on their careers so that they can elevate. And
absolutely,
100 of the people on this list, including the ones we're going to highlight today, they all have earned a right to be seen.
100%.
I hate to make a crude joke, but you said balls on the list and it came to Vince McMahon in my head, so I'm just going to leave that alone.
Oh, jeez, man.
So we're already on the board. I'm not touching that one.
So I do have to cut out at 5:30 because I got to head to work. I know I was supposed to be, a little 10-minute thing, but I just want to say, no, I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh, well. No, okay. Yeah, no, I was going to say that as a guy who is talent scouted and been a promoter, looks are important though. Like having a full package is important. It really is, man. For men and women. I'm not just talking about, if you're trying to draw people into your event, you want people that are dynamic on the flyer. So it does matter. You know what I mean? It does matter that you present yourself as a marketable individual.
This is where me and Keith defer at. We're best friends, but this is where we defer because I don't care what you look like. Because if you're ugly to Grace Jones, I can find a role for you. You know what I'm saying? If you look like Tiffany Stratton, I can find another role for you. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying you can't that you can't use unattractive people in a certain way, but even unattractive people have to have something appealing about them physically.
True.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's just, like Kong, dude. Kong's a great guy. No one's going to mistake Kong for Thor, but he's huge. He's a big monster. So yeah, there does have to be a physical aesthetic that is appealing.
Well, if you
anyway,
hammer, I don't know. I mean, maybe
I gotta head to work, man. Maybe the thong or maybe the Kong thing and the hammer. I wasn't really thinking that. Bobby, you got something on your mind today. But you guys enjoy, man. Hopefully people are tuning in and getting a good feeling for this thing. But I'm sure I'll talk to you guys soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Keith. And thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, no problem. Later, guys.
Thanks, bro.
All right, that was Keith Miller, the head honcho, big man over the list that everybody has been tripping on. Oh, good to hear from that dude, man. I like him. That's my boy. That's my boy. Now, off of Kong's hammer and down to the listing.
Thank you for joining us on FTW Independent Island. That's two. I'm sorry, sign guy, but there's a gimmick that we have on our show. Anytime somebody gets too rambunctious with like sexual innuendo, I try to outro the show so that YouTube doesn't like throw us into prison.
That's understandable.
Okay, so right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go ahead and get this bad boy started. 200 wrestlers to watch. I hope everybody is staying in their seats when they see this, and if they see the replay, they enjoy themselves. But let's get to it. Let me kick it off. 193, Mickey Knuckles. Really? Do I have to explain anything? Do I really got to talk about Mickey Knuckles?
Please do.
This is
I
one
love
of the
her.
people that you should already know. Mickey Knuckles has been all over the place. IWA, Mid-South. She's been in every organization there is. She was in the WWE for a short time before she broke her leg. This girl has been through trials and tribulations when it comes to the wrestling business itself, though. But through her perseverance, through her multiple wrestling tactics experience, she can go from a technical prowess to a hardcore haven. Queen of the Deathmatch I don't even think that even respects her name. Mickey Knuckles is one of the premier women that is in this sport. She's been around for a while. She should be around for a lot longer. Mickey, if you watch this, listen. You got some skills. Don't let nobody ever tell you different. Keep it going. 178. Robert Black. Sage Phillips.
Oh, yes. The Catch Can Casanova, Sage Phillips. I'm familiar with him from a few different organizations, mostly New Wave Pro in Terre Haute, Indiana. He's also been around Illinois and some other states in the Midwest. Dynamic personality, especially as a heel. Match that he had with Cole Radrick with the dog collar comes to mind. And if you want to talk about a submission specialist and you want to see submission professional wrestling, Sage Phillips is a guy that you need to pay a lot of attention to, because not only can he tie you in knots, but he can make you hate him while he's doing it. And I've seen him work babyface, but he's dynamic as a heel. So when you see Sage Phillips, you are seeing technical wrestling extraordinaire, and you're seeing a guy who can really push your buttons.
And as me as being a somewhat submission wrestler, I I got to give Sage his props. He does well.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I could have had a match with him though.
That would have been fun.
Oh yes.
That would have been fun.
Next, 176, Ace Perry.
Yes, I also have Ace. Ace Perry is a guy that I have watched come up from his early days with WCWO in Indianapolis. This guy has developed into a just multifaceted character as far as his in-ring persona is concerned. He started out as altar boy in WCWO, but he has come so far since then, almost a Raven-esque character in terms of how he carries himself in the ring. But he can also be a meat and potatoes babyface, which is the weird part. You love him or hate him, he has a unique style that it captures a young Raven to a T. But he's got he calls himself the Black Diamond, and he is certainly that.
And the dude, I remember when he was choir boy, I mean, he just had the world on fire and he just kept it burning. Dude is just awesome. I mean, there's nothing more I can say, but he's just awesome. You pretty boy, Ace Perry. Anyway, next one. It's still Robert Black, Cole Radrick.
You never count out the boy from Spencer, Indiana, until you knock him out. Cole has been, I've seen him in 3 or 4 different organizations. Right now he's knocking around GCW some. He has made a great name for himself, a Black Label Pro out of Chicago. I've seen him there. The kid has come up in the world, especially since WCWO, native of Owen Valley, Indiana, and he has that Dominic Mysterio factor. You can hate his guts. He can annoy the piss out of you.
Yes,
but on the babyface side, you can learn to love him. Some of my best work as a play-by-play man was a match that he had in New Wave Pro with I'm sorry. Oh my God, I've forgotten the other guy's name. But it was a specialty match in New Wave Pro. So Mike Bennett came in and had a match with Radrick. They did a 30-minute Broadway. It was some of the best work they ever did, and it was some of the best work I ever did. So, Cole, if you're listening to this, Godspeed, young man. You're doing just fine.
And I'm going to top off with Cole, and Cole's going to be shocked that I say this, but I'm not going to say it because it's just going to offend too many people. Cole should be.
No, I will point out. Oh, go ahead, Bob.
What? Huh?
I was just going to point out that I have actually seen Cole Radrick in 5 different states, so he gets around, and rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he should be higher level than what he is. I think the man should be in AEW or NWA or WWE even. I do. And it's shocking for me to say that because I'm very picky. But I think those guys are I don't want to offend too many people, Anthony. But but yeah, I gotta say I think he should be at a higher level than what he is right now. So I don't want the GCW crowd to get mad at me for saying that, but it's just honest. Just to be honest, his talent is just too much, I think, and too big for GCW. Honestly. People get mad at me, go ahead, cut my head off. But sign guy, Darren Corbin.
Darren Corbin. He is out of Minnesota. He's been wrestling for over 15 years now, so a lot of people know of him. But he's been an independent the entire time, even though he's done a lot of extra work for the major national companies. He's done like paramedic work and things like that when they use extras. But he has a range. He can do comedy wrestling as well as anyone and draw with it. But he can also do straight professional wrestling without any comedy to it. He's wrestled a lot of the big name people that are on the independents down to new guys and people that not a lot of people know about. He's also worked a lot on this side of the country. He used to be a regular for the old WCWC in Portland, Oregon, which had television around the Salem, Oregon area. And the promoter also brought Darren to Las Vegas whenever he would run a company there. And they had national television on a small cable network for a while. So he's got a limited amount of national exposure, but not a lot of people know him on a wide scale, which is a shame because he's absolutely fantastic. He also markets himself well. He has a popular YouTube channel where he does 2 to 3 minute segments. He'll talk to his consultant, which looks almost identical to Darren Corbin with the mustache, but he does that, and he does very well with that, gets his name out there, and he's still doing really well on the independents, still wrestles a regular schedule. He was injured last year for a good part of the year, but he's back, he's healthy, and he's doing really well.
Cool.
That's good to hear.
Sign guy. One quick question. That company out of Vegas, was that Paragon Pro Wrestling?
It was Paragon Pro Wrestling.
Oh, yeah, I'm familiar with them. I saw a little bit of that when they had Joey Ryan.
Yeah,
Totally
the
Joey Ryan.
promoter is Jeff Manning, and he actually is involved with one of the companies I work for out here called Northwest Pro Wrestling. So Jeff Manning has ran, I believe, 3 different companies out of Las Vegas over the years. Paragon, one of them, and Darren Corbin was one of the main stars there.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, that closes out the people we want to speak to on the 200 to the 151 list. Let's take this moment to go ahead and catch our breath. Okay, my breath still stinks. All right, so we're going to go on to the next one, which is going to be on the list 150 to 101. Well, I mean, excuse me, 150 to 101. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to kick it off again. And usually I do the females, all right? This time I had to take a dude. This dude has been just phenomenal. Awesome guy. I mean, I can't say no more about him. It's Congo Kong. Congo Kong has done all over the place. He's actually been in Impact Wrestling, and I'm just going to be real with you. I think Impact Wrestling lost to Jim. They screwed up big time when they let him go. Congo Kong is the ultimate professional. Yeah, that was kind of ironic that Keith mentioned Congo Kong doing what he was talking about. But seriously, if you had not seen this man wrestle, look up his TNA matches. Look him up on the internet. This is a man you must watch. A 450-pound airplane. That's what he is. Period. And if you don't know, now you know. Check it out on YouTube. Share it up. Next one I'm going to speak to. This dude is somebody that I listened to in my rookie years. This dude can touch a lot of people. This dude is killing it still right now. And this is the man that is about Mo Better Wrestling. That's right. I'm talking about Apollo Star. That dude is just awesome. I'm sorry. Technical wrestler, can be flamboyant, heel, face, tweener, chicken wing, whatever he wants to be in the wrestling ring, this man can be. He's a consummate professional. He's one of the best. And I'm sorry. Anybody that thinks Apollo Star shouldn't be listed should be hit with a steel chair, a brick, and another steel chair. They should not ever show their face at the wrestling show again. Apollo Star, you the man, bro. I'm telling you. 142.
Don't be sucking.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, don't be sucking when you're talking about Apollo Star.
Yeah, don't be sucking. Yeah. Next one, sign guy, JD Mason.
JD Mason, my boss, he is 18 years into the business. He has wrestled in a lot of the western half of the country. He's slowed down taking outside bookings the last couple of years to focus on Northwest Pro, which is continuing to grow, but he is still wrestling in a few limited promotions, mainly Nevada and Colorado, but he's a staple in Northwest Pro. He can wrestle with anybody. It doesn't matter if it's a trainee that he trained at his wrestling school up to someone right off of television. He's wrestled the gamut, always has a great match with them. He wrestles so that their ability is showcased and he can bring them up to that level rather than going down to where they are if needed. So that's a rare feat, but he does it. He can be controversial sometimes with people in the industry, but he works hard. He wants everybody to do the right thing for the business. He tries to do his best, and more people should be familiar with JD than what's out there. He came out of the old Pinnacle Wrestling School, which spawned not only a WrestleMania main eventer, but people that have wrestled for WWE, Ring of Honor, Impact, all of those promotions. A lot of them started that same place JD did. There's a wealth of talent there, so JD picked up a lot there, and he's also training wrestlers and instilling a lot of those skills into the new generation. So hopefully people will see JD on that list and pay a little more attention to him.
Cool.
That's pretty cool. Next,
Yeah.
116, Gaston LaRue, Robert Black.
Yes, the man who plays it by the book, Gaston LaRue. One of my favorite part of Gaston is his gimmick. He says he plays by the book and he brings the book of wrestling to the ring with him, uses it for knowledge and uses it as a weapon. And the funny part about it is that the book looks like the Necronomicon. It looks like a human flesh bound old leather book that it's scary just to look at. And since he's billed as from Louisiana, there's a little bit of witchcraft going on there. So I believe he mostly works as a heel, but I have seen him go babyface, so he's capable of it. But the times that I've called matches for him on play-by-play, he was mostly doing heel work for FTW and for New Wave and for a few other places. His main skill is that he comes off as just the essence of arrogance when he plays a heel, and highly skilled individual. The last time I saw him was in a place called Supreme Wrestling near the Kentucky border at Indiana. And just a tremendous talent and a big future for him. And if you've been through Indiana, you've probably run into Gaston LaRue.
All right, next match, next guy. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm gonna say his name, but you got him, Robert Black. Don't Die Miles.
Okay, picture a guy slimmer than Rich Swann with about 3/4 of the age on him, and we're talking about higher, farther, and faster. That's Don't Die Miles, and that's how he earned that moniker. I've seen this kid fly 3/4 of the way across the ring. He has frankly scared the crap out of me with the shooting star that he does. but we're talking about a sweet person, a wonderful professional wrestler. In recent years, he was champion of New Wave Pro for a while, and he drew in crowds like nobody else. Just the essence of inspiration on this kid. Fast, can draw sympathy with his selling. Just a very inspirational athlete.
Can I say this?
Sure.
Of course, I've been in this business for a while. I've never been mad that someone lost the title until Don't Die Miles. Don't Die Miles, and I've said this to a couple of people, they thought I was laughing, and then he won the New Wave Pro Wrestling title. I said he is the face of an organization. I still believe he is the face of an organization. I think Don't Die Miles needs to be put on poster boards, let him loose, and show what he can do. I'm not saying it because I think highly of him or I'm a fan. I'm saying it because of who he is. I'm saying it what he produces in that ring. I'm saying it because of the same very factors as you said, Robert Black. The man sells better than a used car salesman.
Yeah.
I mean, this man is dynamic.
Oh, when I was calling matches for him in New Wave Pro, especially when he had that belt, there were sells that he did that I thought for a moment that he was legitimately hurt. The way that he landed made me believe, and I've been watching and been involved with wrestling for like 37 years. So yeah.
Don't Die Miles is the ultimate. But see, this is the intangibles that I'm talking about when I talk about wrestlers. There are certain things is when you're back behind the scenes, they're just a good person. And that goes a long way when you're a pro wrestler. That goes a long way. And Don't Die Miles, he's a new dad. Congratulations, by the way.
That I didn't know. Cool.
Yeah, he's got a little baby, man. A little baby's cute as I don't know what. He's gonna be flying himself, but you know, just straight up, because I got to get off the subject. Don't Die Miles. I wish somebody would pick him up. Him and Cole Roderick need to be somewhere, and I'm ashamed that these guys aren't getting looked at. You get if you don't. Let's just go.
Well, 2024 is only 2 months old, Bobby. So there's plenty of time.
Yeah, but I've said this years ago. And unfortunately, you know, some people don't look at it that way. I see it. I straight up see it. All right. So I'm going to move on to the next part of the bracket. 100 to 51. Taekwon Bro. Sanga.
Taekwon Bro. He has been wrestling for 13 years now. He's had a ton of different gimmicks in his career, but once he got into the Taekwon Bro persona and delved into his martial arts background, the fans took to that. I have never in my life seen a wrestler that was never a top guy anywhere get the type of reaction that he gets. They chant his name from the start of the show to the end of the show, and it's often segments he's not even involved in. They chant for his name like they're chanting for Becky Lynch out there. It's just amazing to see that. He was recently featured on the Channel 13 News in Seattle. It's the Fox affiliate, so it's a mainstream affiliate channel, and they did like a 10-minute feature on Taekwon Bro, on his life in and out of the ring. And ever since that aired a couple of months ago, Northwest Pro has been sold out, which has never happened before. They maybe would do 3/4 capacity on a really, really good night. They have done over capacity crowds. They've had to bring out extra chairs the last few shows since that new segment aired, and it's because Taekwon Bro. And the fans there just have this pull with him that they want to see Taekwon Bro. He doesn't do anything flashy. He's never going to be mixed up with guys that are masters of the craft as far as like the best technical wrestlers or high flyers. But what he does connects with the crowd in a way I have never seen.
Oh, cool. Is he primarily a comedy wrestler, or is there more to his gimmick than that?
It really depends on the match. He can do comedy, but he's more of a straight ahead wrestler that he'll put martial arts based moves in, which is where Taekwon Bro comes in. He'll wrestle in the Taekwondo gi, and that's really the extent of it. He's not necessarily a comedy guy. He's just embracing his actual legitimate Taekwondo background.
Cool. Does he do UFC stuff, MMA?
He has actually done a couple of mixed martial arts matches. Did not win either of them, but he does have that capability if he wanted to. He is a black belt in Taekwondo.
Wow. Very cool. It looks like Bobby is having some technical difficulty. He'll probably be back with us in a minute. I do not have the full list that we're going through here. So I will kind of move this along with a little bit of a quasi interview, Sign Guy. You are primarily on the West Coast, and that's an area on the independent circuit that I am not too familiar with. But okay, Bobby is back, but I'll continue with this question anyway. You were talking about the Pacific Northwest specifically as a territory that used to be a really hot spot. Is it becoming one again?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot going on in the Pacific Northwest. It was very slow for many, many years in the Pacific Northwest, but now it's caught fire. Defy Wrestling, which has ties to Impact previously. They've had some of their shows featured on Impact, and they just recently merged with a company in England called Progress. They sell out their venue, Washington Hall. It's a capacity of about 450 to 500. Tickets are $75, and they sell out within minutes. And so that's how hot they are. They also have companies like Powell Wrestling, which is based in Oregon, but they tour pretty much all the West Coast. You have Northwest Pro, which has gotten hot thanks largely to Taekwon Bro's mainstream feature on the news. You have Combat Pro Wrestling, which is sort of a cult following, but they draw very well. Road Wrestling Attractions is the only traditional professional wrestling licensed company in Washington, and they just did a capacity show last week. They've only been in existence for a year, and they use only local wrestlers. They aren't using anyone off of TV, so they're doing very, very well as far as that goes. In Oregon, there's several different companies doing well. California does very well. Idaho has a company called Wrestle Club, which affiliates itself with different charitable causes every single show, and they draw very well using only local wrestlers there. So there's a lot of wrestling in the Northwest, and a lot of it is doing very, very well.
Sweet. Well, Bobby is back, so we can continue with our list.
Yeah, let me
Who's
apologize
next?
for that because we just had some type of power surge or something, and everything shut down.
Well, we vamped a little bit while you were gone, so we didn't skip a beat, man.
I was wondering if my ex-wife came back, but anyway.
Thank you for joining us on FTW Independent Island.
Next one, 81. And this is mine. And it's not a singles wrestler, it's a tag team. It's Shield Wall. Man, hold on. Tag team dynamic. This is a intergender tag team. Shield Maiden is one of the top women that's around. Love her to death. This girl is just awesome. Veneer Ragnarok is one of the best dudes that's around. And when you talk about going to hit hard on a guy or girl or any object that there is, these guys are hitting it hard.
Yeah.
Best wrestlers I've seen in person in a long time. Love these guys. If you have not seen Shield Wall, Veneer Ragnarok, Shield Maiden, you are missing out. Get your butt up.
The last match I called for them for World's Finest out of Indy was an absolute. It was absolutely insane. They started using baby dolls and like any kind of foreign object they could find. It was an insane match.
They are savages.
Yes.
I love them because I'm savage myself. I love them. Yes. Okay, next one. Timmy Hulk, sign guy.
Timmy Hulk is out of Alaska. He is one of the Alaska trained guys up there. Alaska had a really slow, very limited scene for a long, long time, but they have gotten red hot. 907 wrestling has become a phenomenon up there, and Pro Wrestling Alaska is also doing very well. They use more national names and a scattering of the locals, but Timmy Hulk has become one of the top guys in that area. He's been wrestling for a while now, but he's also come down to the lower 48 numerous times for different organizations. Has a great match with anybody he wrestles when he comes down here. And up in Alaska, he usually works heel, but he is really connected with the fans. He does great work. He knows how to control the crowd, knows how to get the best out of his opponent. Great young talent.
Cool. I mean, I got to get up that way. I got to get up to the Northwest and see what's going on because I'm in every place except there. So this is really getting me interesting. And this is what this list is about. Getting you to see other places and other things that people are doing. So you can go ahead and step up and check it out, man. I mean, this is awesome. And last but not least, on this section of the list, Storm Garcon. I'm stepping out and I'm gonna make a statement here. This person works their behind off in this scene. This person is all over trying to make a name for herself. I don't care what she identifies herself as, what she identifies as, who she identifies as. She works hard. This girl does everything she can in this wrestling scene to get noticed. She's gotten a couple of titles already. I'm going to go out and say it. If you want to hate me for it, well, I got an ex-wife. I've been hated before. I am sick and tired of seeing when someone is different. They have a different lifestyle. They might do something different. They get treated differently. I don't care if you're a worker. I don't care if you're a fan. We should all be respected for the craft that we do. Because sit up here clowning on someone like her, it's the same thing as clowning on me when I'm coming up in the ranks. Just because I'm a black dude. Or just because I wear a size 18 shoe. Okay, size 18 shoe, you can cut it out. But just because I'm a black dude. It's not right. Her technical prowess in the ring, for as young as she is above and beyond some of these people that's been in this ring for a while. But you want to pick out the one thing that you think that you can make fun of and say, oh, well, blah, 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 blah. Who cares? She's out working you in that ring. She's out promoting herself in that ring. She is out hustling you. So how dare you sit there and try to have some type of prejudice because of what she chooses to be or what she wants to do. It's about what's in that ring. It's not about what goes on inside or outside of the ring. Let's say that. It don't go on what's outside of the ring. But what she does in that ring, okay. And she is far beyond her statue of what she's at in the ring. Storm Garcon, listen to me. Keep your head up. Keep working. Forget these people that's yapping off at the mouth, because most of these people going to be kissing your feet later on. Keep getting them titles. And keep shoving it in their face. Because if you need longer arms, come see me. I'll put it in their face for you. Pisses me the hell off. I'm sorry I went on a tirade, guys, but I mean that type of thing pisses me off. We're supposed to be a part of the independent scene. We have enough problems with people making fun of pro wrestling as it is. And we want to sit up here and be petty and try to pick out a certain part of someone to try to disclose them from the sport that we love. It's ridiculous.
For sure.
Yeah. What should matter to every fan and to every performer in the wrestling industry is the story that's being told in the ring and how skilled the people are that are doing their craft. That should be the bottom line. No matter who you are, no matter what your preferred pronouns are, what your politics is, it doesn't matter. If you can get it done in the ring, that should be the ultimate focus.
Unfortunately, some people don't have that.
Well, that's why that's part of the reason we're doing this, to give recognition to people who have those skills.
Yeah, and it's a couple of others that left off. Honorable mention, Junie Toon, love you. Do your thing, man. Or lady. But listen, I'm sick of seeing it. I am totally sick of seeing it because, I mean, I look at it as, and I don't want to go too much on a tirade on this, but this is a soapbox I'm willing to die on. I am so sick of seeing it because I wonder, when I go out to the ring, or when I was going out to the ring, or if I go out and ring announce, or if I go out and manage, or if I'm running a show, and that same person is making fun of someone like Storm Garcon, is sitting up there behind my back saying the same thing about me because I'm a black dude. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to be prejudiced to one, I got to be worried about you being prejudiced to the other. And I don't think it's acceptable in pro wrestling or anything for that matter. So, but let's go on. Let's move on before I start really getting into the Ryan's Hope and stuff here. All right. So we're down to the top 50. These guys, these ladies and guys, are people that made the top 50 right off the head, right off the dome, people that we thought of. Time for me to kick it off with somebody out of Chicago, Illinois. This girl is crazy. This girl is nuts. This girl is one of the most wonderful people you can work with. This girl has held the main title of her federation in Chicago, PRW. No, not just the women's title. She has held the main title. That's over men as well for over 2 years. And does not get the recognition she deserves. That is DJ the Disaster. This girl is lovely. She has a spear only second to Sam Knight's. This girl is a technical prowess, but she can be a brute. And I think she prefers to be a brute because I think she likes beating people up. I have not seen anyone with the thirst for this business more than her, except her friend Jonathan Strutchins. This woman is something we need to look at and really have her come out and show what she's about. DJ, if you're watching this, I'm not saying it because we're both from the same side of Chicago. I'm saying this because you truly earn it and you should be recognized for what you do. DJ's a disaster. Love your girl. Keep it going. Next. Sign guy. Dante Kane.
Dante King is out of Nevada now. He is still pretty young in his career. I believe he's maybe 4 years into it, but he has progressed exponentially. He wrestles in a lot of different places. He's been up for Northwest Prayer up in my neck of the woods. He's wrestled in Colorado for numerous promotions. He's wrestled in Nevada for numerous promotions. I've been on a few shows with him. He gets better every single time. He's not very well known yet, but fans should definitely keep an eye on him. He has a lot of potential. I can definitely see him getting work on like an AEW or a WWE this year when they're in his area and starting to get that foot in the door. He's just very, very talented, very well trained, and I wish more fans knew of Dante King. He's just a great young talent, has a great attitude, is very good at what he does, and I think we will see a lot more of him in the next few years. He's still really, really young, so he's got a lot of years ahead of him to keep growing, so I think the sky's the limit for this kid.
That's awesome. That's real awesome. Okay, so the next one is mine. Oh my goodness, back to the ladies. I'm sorry. This girl, I just can't help but smile when I see her. Even though she makes fun of me every time I see her. And it's the lovely Miss Larkin. Just like I picked out Tiffany Stratton. Just like Keith said, you have to have the whole package, which I kind of disagree with, but then I kind of see where he's coming from. Miss Larkin is it. Miss Larkin has beauty. Miss Larkin has mic skills. Miss Larkin has wrestling ability in that ring. But there's a certain presence and an it factor that stands with certain wrestlers. I don't have that. I have that factor. Like, what the hell is that? She has that it factor to where you just stand there like, who the heck is this girl? Now, I will admit, she sounds like the nanny when she talks a little bit. All right.
Oh man.
Ow.
Oh.
I mean, but you know what? It fits perfectly with what she does, though.
Well, okay. To Keith's point, I think what he was alluding to is that in an entertainment business such as ours, cosmetics goes quite a ways.
I'm not
And
saying
I'm more on your side here, Bobby, with skill. Many times on this program, I have said that skills trumps looks every time for me. But it's undeniable that cosmetics, to a certain extent, does help. But
okay, you've agreed with me except with Rio.
oh, now come on. Let's not get into the Rio hate today, because
you gotta understand it's a running thing with me with Rio, and it just drives him nuts.
Yes, it does, because Riho is unique. And that's something that professional wrestling needs more of. I realize that she's 90 pounds soaking wet, but the girl can bend and twist in ways that nobody else can in the ring. And I admire that. So,
Okay, we got to get back to the independence because when you describe it like that, you're getting me on your side. But anyway, but back to Miss Lovely Miss Larkin. I'm sorry, this girl is the ultimate. The ultimate. She's going to be somewhere, some way, quickly. This girl, I don't think she's won a championship yet, but somebody should be begging for her to hold their title. Lovely Miss Larkin, hats off to you. Number skills. I mean, yeah, you sound like the nanny, but what you do in that ring just makes up for it. So, hats off to you. Next one. Robert Black. Jacob Rose.
Okay, Jacob Rose, he came to prominence in World's Finest, which is the a few times I was able to call matches for him. And he comes off as the kind of wrestler who has the raw power to carry both himself and a title to the next level. And his title win that I called for World's Finest was he made that match so epic with him and I believe it was Jordan Dye. But that match in and of itself showed so much of the potential that Rose has that the sky is the limit with him as far as like the dynamics of his personality goes. He is the kind of guy that you could base a small promotion around and turn it from a small promotion into a much bigger deal. So Jacob Rose has that. You were talking about it factor. Jacob's got it.
Right on, right on. Next, I'm up. Oh my goodness. I can't believe I'm going to talk about her. She is. Okay, check this out. I have never met a woman wrestler. Well, no, I can't say that. I'm going to say that this is one of the women wrestlers that if I had $1 million budget would always be on my show. This same lady, from my understanding, was on the original All In, sitting in the national anthem. This woman was a former OVW champion recently. This woman has faced a lot of different people and has clowned in that ring. Shalance Royal is someone that I think is overlooked 100% as well. This girl is awesome in that ring. Her gimmick is awesome. Her personality and what she does fits what she does because she can actually sing. I mean, the girl got a voice. Honestly, I'm wondering why she ain't cutting records somewhere. But the girl got a voice. And she plays that into our wrestling gimmick, which is cool. I mean, you are what you are, and that's what she is. She's a singer. But when she gets in that ring, everything she does, from the time she steps into that ring until she steps out, you can tell it's deliberate. You can tell it's focused, executed well, and makes the matches look great. Shalance Royal, what's up? I know you watching because you always watch our stuff. Thank you so much. But hey, check this out. You're definitely one of the wrestlers to watch. Robert Black, somebody that I've always been wondering about. Because I wish I could have seen him live, but I know you have.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Brannigan.
Oh boy, Matt Brannigan. This guy's personality is just top of the chart. I have only seen him as a dynamic babyface. I am not really sure how he does as a heel, but in the ring, he is both skillful and charming. For a while, he was calling himself the king of OnlyFans. So, he has a he's got a surfer dude kind of feel to him. And he is in extraordinary shape physically, great tan, great physical musculature. And is so good backstage, a consummate professional. But if you're talking about both ability in the ring and some comedy mixed in too, on commentary, I was playing up the fact that he would do purple nurples to people in the ring. He would back them up into the buckles, pretend he was going to chop them, and then he'd twist their nipples. And I went nuts on commentary talking about how I was the fat kid who hated PE and telling people to do the math as to why I was disgusted by that move. But Matt Brannigan himself, we're talking about one of the most charming personalities on the independent circuit, and he's a PG-13 version of Joey Ryan. He doesn't do anything gross, but he's a very he's a spot-on fun baby face. So if you get a chance to check Matt Brannigan out, he is a dynamic performer.
Right on. On the next one, Sign God. And I'm going to probably say this name wrong, so please excuse me if I do. Balaam Lynx?
You got it.
Okay.
Loco Balaam Lynx. He is out of Denver, Colorado, and is phenomenally talented. He is very humble. He doesn't take as much credit as he should for not only being good in the ring, but also training wrestlers. He trained a couple of kids that I refereed for a few years ago. I did not know until after the match. It was both of their very first match. I thought they'd been in there a couple of years. That's how well Balaam Lynx had them trained. And Balaam can wrestle anybody and get a great match out of them. It doesn't matter experience level, skill level, injuries, anything. He can work around all of that and get a great match out of it. He has had matches on AEW Dynamite in the past. He's been in a couple of squash matches, but is still on the independent circuit. He will be in Northwest Pro in a couple of weeks. He's come up here numerous times, had phenomenal matches with JD Mason primarily, but he's wrestled other people on the roster and had fantastic matches with them as well. He travels with a wolf head, which is not easy to do with TSA as it is, but he brings it as his gimmick, and he usually connects with the fans on the look through the curtain and then captures them with his in-ring ability. Just absolutely phenomenal. I can't say enough good about Balaam Lynx. Hopefully this will be the year that they take a longer look at him at the national level. I know he's got the foot in the door, but I would like to see him signed with somebody because he definitely deserves it. And not only does he wrestle really well for numerous companies, he will work with the people that need help. He'll work with rookies or people that need to learn a different move, and he will teach them and he's such a patient teacher and wants things to look crisp and to be safe. And he makes sure he gives everyone the time when he's at a show to do that. And then he does not usually get credited for that, but I've seen it multiple times. He's definitely a credit to the industry.
Cool.
All right. I'm sorry, my girl Wendy is texting me. She just got out of her thing. Robert Black.
Yes.
Cassius tickets star.
Wow. See, I have not called. No, I did call a match for a couple of them for Cassius Star in World's Finest. Last saw him at Wrestle Arts in Indy, and we're talking about a kid who has come up in the industry. He is Apollo Star's son, and it shows. He's got the attitude and the skills, and from what he showed me, I think that he has a lot of potential as a baby face, kind of in the spirit of Don't Die Miles, but with a slicker presentation and a more grounded style. When you're talking Cassius Star, you're talking charisma, and he's got it in droves. And he is just starting out in his career. And if he is this good now, in 10 years, he's going to own a whole promotion or 3 by the time he's done. The kid is phenomenal. He deserves a number 10 spot on this list. And even though it may not need to be numbered, he's got a good spot. And out of everyone on this list, as an up-and-comer, Cassius has probably the farthest way to go, but he's definitely going to get there.
Cassius
So
Star.
definitely talking about Cassius Star.
Oh, go ahead.
I said, don't be sucking when you're talking about Cassius Star.
Yeah, that's true too.
I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. Cassius Star got that res. That man got that res. That man is a slick boy. He one of them pimps. He a quiet pimp. Cassius Star is a quiet pimp. I ain't got nothing but love for that man. Yeah. Cassius Star, yeah. We
well, as he goes on, he might not be so quiet.
True, because just like his daddy, I mean, cute man. I want to see them tag team. I seriously want to see them tag team.
Well, I think they did in Worlds. No, they were on they were performing in 2 different singles matches. But yeah, you're right. I would like to see that father and son team.
I would love to see that. But last but not least, on this list, I know you know her sign. You know her sign guy. Robert Black, you've met her a couple of times. She was on my shows. This girl is just amazing. Out of Chicago, Illinois, Paloma Star. This girl makes me speechless. This girl, you talk about technical prowess in the ring, but also that it factor that makes you just say, oh my God. Paloma Star, honestly, should be in Impact Wrestling right now. She should definitely be there. I'm sorry, she's definitely a wrestler that everyone should watch. She is so good. There was she took some time off for wrestling because there was an opportunity to literally do live theater. And the live theater was where they were doing a play about lucha libre, and it was a Latino format to it, talking about an aspect of lucha libre that I did not understand, I did not get, but I was dying to see that play, and I wish I could see it. Unfortunately, they stopped running it.
What was the name of it?
I don't know. I should have that, and I'm sad to say that I had it written down and I lost the paper.
You said the show was in Chicago?
Yes, it was.
I will try to find out. I do have a few theater connections in Chicago. I will try to find out what that show was.
Hold on. I think it's called Lucha Tetol. I'm not pronouncing this correct.
Okay, well, I'll look it up.
I want to make sure on this. Please forgive me. Yeah, I think this is it. Or is it Mucha Lucha?
No, Mucha Lucha was a Cartoon Network series.
Okay. So Lucha Tetol. She was the lead. she was the lead in that. This girl has done it all, and she's the Sriracha Muchacha.
Mm-hmm.
She has been all over the place and during the Midwest, killing everybody. And this girl, for some reason, does not get the props that she deserves, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, it is. It was Lucha Tetol.
Lucha Tetol.
Yeah, Teotl. It was at the Goodman Theater.
That means total wrestling.
I'm sorry?
Oh.
The translation is total wrestling. Lucha Tetol.
Lucha Tetol. Okay. And you said it was at the Goodman?
Well, this girl came up and just rocking everything that she does. Went back and still clown in the wrestling scene in Chicago. So, Paloma Star, you know I respect you. Keep it up. You should be Impact champion one day, period. I'm calling it out now. She should be Impact champion. Mark my words 2 years later. But thank you, Paloma, for all you've done for this sport. Because you have done a lot to show not only Latinos coming up and having a positive impact in wrestling versus what's wanted to be promoted, but also a good example for minorities as a whole. I get tired of promoters wanting the minorities to be the evil guys. I get tired of it because it gets bland. Some should. Don't get me wrong. Some should. All of us shouldn't. So.
And Paloma's red hot after her break, too. She took that time off and then came back, and she's right back where everybody wants her on their show. So she's right where she left off, really.
Cool. And I would really love to see this play. I am working on a play myself about pro wrestling. It's not focused on lucha, but more of a it's more about a tribute show. and how we handle tragedies in wrestling. I call it One Fall. It's currently in development.
This man, actually, Robert Black, the people don't know, has a degree in theater.
Yeah.
This man ain't nobody just writing something just to play. I mean, this man is college USA college educated in the theater business. You know what I mean?
Well, I
$50 million in college fees, and this man comes out with a degree.
Well, I have a degree in my bachelor's is in radio, TV, and film with a theater minor. So I've put my education to good use. It's not made me rich yet, but we're getting there. So I've written some stage plays in my time, and one of them that I'm trying to develop happens to be about what I'm passionate about. So eventually it's going to see a stage. It's just it's got to cook a little bit.
Hey, well, Rob helps me out because I had it's already known that I have a face for radio. So you know.
Well, I can't say anything about myself either. I mean, this beard that I'm rocking has got to go.
Man, that's why we got an Asian audience. Them Asian ladies love that, man.
Sign guy pulls that off though. Look at that beard. He's got that down pat. I
can't do that.
That is some sweet beardage right there.
I can't do it.
Thank you.
I wish I had it to do it. I can't do it, man. I look like some criminal off of 35th Street in Chicago, and they ready to arrest me. I'm sorry.
Oh man. While we've got Sign Guy here talking about the West Coast, there was a question that I wanted to ask you. New Japan has their strong dojo out in California. So I was wondering, have they been getting a good foothold in the States? And do you think they'll be able to hold on to it for to get a good following out there?
The dojos in Los Angeles, and I know we've had some guys out of the Pacific Northwest, Cody Chen, one of them that has gone down to the dojo and has done well. Just Exciting, who is on our 200 list, has gone to the dojo and trained there a little bit. So they are getting some guys there. It seems to be doing pretty well. I know they wanted that United States connection so they can run shows independent of being in Japan, and they've done so and they've drawn well. So I think for everything that they had hoped for the dojo, they've seen happen. If it's going to be a long-term situation or not, I don't know, but as of right now, with what they are doing and what they had planned, it seems to be working pretty well.
Cool. Well, it's just we've had some running debates on FTW Future Focus about whether strong style is a viable thing for American audiences, and whether that's going to catch on in the United States. Does it seem to you like Japanese strong style can it click with American audiences, do you think?
It's like any style. It's going to be on what a given audience wants. If you have the right audience, then yeah, it can definitely work. It's just like comedy wrestling or lucha libre or British style. It's one version of the overall art form. So you just need that niche audience that supports it. But it can definitely work here in Seattle and really the West Coast in general. There's a very large Japanese population. And so I think it works better on the West Coast in areas where there is a large Japanese presence. I know like the companies like Defy, which has a pretty large hardcore fan base, and they follow the Japanese wrestling a lot. It's going to work for companies like that even better because their fans are more knowledgeable about the style and about the history of the style and so forth. So if it would play out in, say, like the Midwest or New England, maybe not as strong as a fan base, but it could definitely work. It just depends on educating the fans to it and finding that niche crowd within the overall crowd that wants to see that style.
Okay.
That's interesting to hear. And see, this is why we developed these lists. The FTW Network exists. It's to learn stuff about this because I can't be on every side of the country at one time. I mean, I am tall, but I'm not that tall. You know. I mean, and this is why I want to thank you, Sam Guy, for coming on, giving us a different perspective of the West Coast. I would like to have more guys on that know about the different coasts, so we can have an all-around conversation about the nation and what it's going through. You know, because this is something that I when I got into it, I've always loved pro wrestling, but when I started getting into it and really getting into it, I loved it even more. And I'm sorry, I just want to see it to go someplace. I mean, and it's going to go places. I just want to help it get there. Real quickly, I'm going to give a minute each. Honorable mention on this list. Sign guy, go first.
Honorable mention, Sonico, who is on the list and just made his Ring of Honor debut. He's wrestled several matches with AEW, and now looks like he's going to be at least a semi-regular with Ring of Honor going forward. So Sonico for sure. You also have, out of our area, Lilith Grimm from Colorado. She wrestles all over the country. She's been to OVW many times. She's been up here many times. She was our first ever Glamour champion, which is a sister promotion to Northwest Pro. Lilith Grimm can work with anybody. She's wrestled a wide variety of opponents with different styles. She is definitely very, very, very good. Has a unique look. I think people will be seeing her on the national level in the next couple of years. Also, just exciting, he has been looked at by AEW several times. They've given him extra roles over the last couple of years. He moved from Seattle down to Las Vegas, so he's working for Las Vegas. But he's definitely very capable of expanding out. He trained initially with the Lucha Libre company and then moved over to a more traditional pro wrestling company to train. So he's got a diverse training background, and hopefully we'll see more just exciting.
Cool. Robert Black.
I have one honorable mention that is listed on the backside of the list. Mad Dog Connolly. If you want to talk about somebody who, if you've never seen Bruiser Brody live, then you need to see Mad Dog Connolly because he channels Brody, chain and all. And I have not legitimately been scared by somebody in a professional wrestling ring until I saw this guy in New Wave Pro. And he legitimately, when he charges the ring and literally throws the chain around his neck, and he even wrestles like Brody, which is an incredible thing considering his size. He's not as tall as Brody, but he's a stocky individual. And he is a complete sweetheart outside the ring. But when he gets in there, he might as well be foaming at the mouth. He lives up to that name, Mad Dog. So that's an honorable mention for Mad Dog Connolly. He is an animal.
And my quick honorable mention, one and only Sam Knight. Crazy ass. That man can wrestle. He does everything. He was one of my biggest rivals when I was in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
He will always be my rival, but respected as well. The man can do anything in that ring. He deserves a lot more. He's seen, but he needs to be seen a lot more. But that's about it right here at the FTW Network. Independent Island, of course. Thank you, Sign Guy. Thank you, not so humble correspondent Robert Black. I'm your host, the Mastermind Bob Rogers, signing off, saying, hey, if you're not on the independent island, it's just not relevant. We will definitely talk to you later, and we will see you in a bit. Well, hold on. We ain't going to see you in a bit. We're going to definitely see you in the future.
Hit it. Oh, how you feel, brother? Feeling good. You feel good? Feeling good. It's groovy. There's so much bone, brother. How you feel, man? I feel all right. I call your name. I don't want no people to know you're in here. How you feel, fella? Hey, Jam. Sure getting down. Look at him. Ah. We're gonna have a funky good time. 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 Let's take 'em up, Fred. We gotta take you high. Yeah. Ow. All right. You wanna do it again? You wanna do it again, huh? Yeah, let's do it one more time. We gotta take